Hey, welcome to Hustle and Tar TV. I'm Darieth Chisholm. There are hundreds of thousands of family-owned businesses in this country, many of them spanning generations and decades. And one in particular here in the Pittsburgh area, the McGinnis Sisters, is a grocery store chain that's been around for some 70 years, spearheaded by three incredible women, Bonnie, Noreen, and Sharon. I sit down with them in the grocery store to talk about what it means to run three grocery stores in a male-dominated industry, the time, patience, and tenacity to making this a standout in this community. That and more straight ahead on Hustle and Tar TV. Like so many entrepreneurs, I'm drawn to the glamorous, gorgeous, larger-than-life, iconic ideas and outcomes that represent success. I'm amazed at just what it takes to truly be a standout, a rock star, a millionaire, a trendsetter. It ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. So why not you? I know it takes hard work and hustle to make things happen, but I also believe it's a matter of heart. We can manifest our greatest desires with a little less sweat equity and a little more divine guidance. Plus, be equally inspired by someone else's life story. I'm Darieth Chisholm. I'm here to help you unleash, unlock, and bloom your dreams in business and in life. I'm a speaker, author, entrepreneur, life and business coach, media personality, and video podcast host. Every week, my team and I uncover dynamic, authentic, heartfelt conversations to help you leverage tools and resources, make more money, live the lifestyle of your dreams, become a rock star, and love your journey. All right, enjoying some morning coffee with the McGinnis Sisters on Hustle and Tar TV. I'm so glad you're with me today.
Thanks.
Yeah, and we're in your beautiful location in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. So we're so excited about filming you and getting the opportunity to tell your story. So speaking of that, this family has had an real niche in the Pittsburgh community with your grocery stores. Tell me how that all got started.
Well, my father came back from the service and didn't have a job. They didn't keep the jobs. There was no GI Bill at the time. And so a friend of his asked him to go into business with him, and they created a small produce stand. And my mother did the receipts by hand. And they were beautifully written, and in the back room there would typically be 3 or 4 of us in a playpen. And so that was in 1946. So we'll be celebrating our 70th year next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When you think about that, I mean, in this economy and with the larger grocery store chains that have come up and pretty much gobbled up the mom and pops, what has kept this family, moving with these grocery stores and having the significance?
I would say persistence and determination. Never giving up. You can never give up, and you can solve any problem. And if it's a family business, love one another and work together, and you'll be able to make it. But keep in mind persistence and determination, because there's always going to be a problem in a family business or any business.
Yeah, and that
always solving problems.
Yeah, certainly. And I would think in this day and age, no matter what the business is, whether it's something that's on the internet or something that's family run for 70 years like yours, persistence and determination is so very important.
Right. Listening to your customers.
Yeah.
In fact, our customers taught us what they want. Always have your ear to the ground and see what's new, what's innovative, and go with it. And you may try it once and it may fail. Twice, you may fail, but try it again 3 times. That's my motto. We'll try anything 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Sharon?
Yeah, just give it a chance, I think. And then you have to surround yourself with really good people. We have exceptional people that we work with. I don't even like to use the word employees. They're team members. They know more than I know about food. I know how to sell food, but they know how to make food, create food, know what the customers want. And so I usually would defer to the employee, because they're right there, right with the customer, and they know what the people are looking for. And so we have tremendous people we work with who are interested in food. They really, you have to love cooking, you have to love eating, and you have to love talking to people, in this business, because it's a hands-on, front and center, customer-focused business.
We were talking before we started taping, and you shared with me that you really do try and meet your customers' needs. If they come in and ask for some meat or specialty cheese or some item that you don't carry or if you never heard about, you source it and find it for them.
Or we'll get on the internet. Bonnie does a lot of internet where we might not even know what that is, and look it up. And we found that if one person asks for it, there's probably 3 or 4 who didn't. And it just keeps us fresh and interesting because big box stores all sell the same thing with the same label. So we have to be unique and interesting. And then a lot of the smaller entrepreneurs, you might bake cookies in your home. You might make pickles with your grandmother's recipe. You have to have a health department license. You have to have but you can make that in your own home and bring it and we'll give you a chance.
Yeah.
Come in, if you're behind it, you sample it, you give it out, you present it, you work it, that stand, and most customers love that, and we'll give pretty much anybody a chance if they're selling an item.
That is so incredible to hear because, I can think of the number of entrepreneurs, small business owners, chefs, bakers, people who've come up with these fabulous food items and they just want to be able to measure them in the marketplace and allow people to experience it and to be able to come to a McGinnis Sisters store and allow your food to be tasted. I mean, that's tremendous. That
They
says a
don't
lot.
have to be big businesses.
Yeah.
Like we have a fellow who makes our pizzelles for us, and I go to his home to pick them up because he can't drive. He's elderly. I don't want to say out loud how his age is. And he makes them by hand on little presses that his wife had, and that's his business that sustains his retirement. And so we probably buy $1,000 or $2,000 worth of pizzelles at a shot, but that makes a big difference in his life and his family's life. It doesn't have to be a $100,000 delivery of tomatoes. It can be just those small things, and that helps grow the community. It really does.
I love this. It sounds like that that your best approach is to be as open as you can in the communities that you serve, to obviously listen to the customers and source and find the things that they want, to invite in local farmers and local bakers to have their ware sampled and sold. What are some other things that you do that you feel like allow you to stand out differently from the big box grocery stores?
Well, I think for us, we have been trained from a very young age and we pass on the customer service. And people who have worked for us, such as a college student, and they go on to other jobs, a lot of times they cite what they learned here about customer service. So it's not just we really spend time with the person and really listen to their needs. So I think, and it's really innate in us because we're just brought up that way. It doesn't even faze us.
Yeah.
And most of our customer compliments are, your staff was so accommodating. Your staff, they were on time. There's so many bad experiences out there that we kind of are, I think, a gold standard. And I'm not bragging. I just feel that that's really where I connect with the employees to say to them, this is something we want to uphold. And they get it. We really have a wonderful training program. Some of the people that I trained 40 years ago are still here. And they'll relate to it and say, well, your dad or Noreen taught me this when I was in high school. It's really wonderful.
You
to see
can't
that.
do this without a team and a team of people who are
absolutely
as
not.
committed to the mission as you are.
Yeah, it's very physically demanding and long hours. And we start early in the morning and we run pretty late at night. So we try to close at a reasonable hour, and we close early on Sundays, and we're closed on many holidays. So we're very interested in making sure our people can be with their families, and we do what we can. My dad used to say, do what you can unless it hurts the company. So if people, the worst time is prom weeks, because every kid that works for us, they're going to a prom, and that's kind of probably the worst time of year. But we really accommodate people to a point. I mean, if it gets to be too much, then of course we can't do it.
Yeah.
But everybody takes their turn with holidays or evenings or weekends, so that it's not just one person.
That's great. That's good. Well, you all, as you said, are somewhat in semi-retirement. Maybe not so much, but you're still very much hands-on. And I'd love to take a peek into the life, each of your lives, and how you manage 3 grocery stores, your own families, and even passing this along to your next generation and what that means for the legacy of this family. So we'll look at that and a whole lot more with the McGinnis sisters when we come back. Are you interested in learning more about podcasting and video podcasting and how you can build your brand, influence, and income through podcasting? I'd be happy to help. In fact, you can schedule a complimentary discovery session with me. Really simple. Just go to podcastingandyou.com. Leave me your name and your email. You might want to check out one of my upcoming trainings as well, or simply send me an email at info@dariethchisholm.com, and we'll get some time scheduled to discover how podcasting can help you grow your business and your brand. CTC Booking Travel and Entertainment Cruise Productions, the world's leader in full-ship charter music cruises, announces 5 cruises featuring the best in jazz music entertainment. The Signature Cruise, Smooth Jazz Cruise, the Jazz Cruise, 80s Cruise, and Gospel Music Cruise. Sail for 7 days with the finest music and entertainment artists in the world. Go to jazzcruisecatalog.com and book your cruise today.
Are you looking for a career that pays great money, working with a fun group of people? I know, sounds too good to be true, right? Hi, I'm Troy Miles of the Miles Group.
We will train you, help you get your license, even supply leads. No cold calling.
I've been here 2 years and earned 6 figures this year.
I love my job.
I love the freedom and being my own boss.
If you would like to work among friends, have a great time, and make good money, call us.
Find out more at tmilesgroup.com.
Hi, I'm Jared Show, and I'm the director of Bigfoot the Movie, and you're watching Hustle and Heart TV with Darieth Chisholm.
You know what, during our little commercial break, we started talking about a variety of things and jobs that you all have done, and it's so interesting to see as women who are really spearheading this company that back in the day you did things like drive a big rig or jump in and out of the freezer and really take a dozen eggs from, a local farmer. That, when you think back on that, do you just see that as, hey, that was just the things that we had to do to keep this business going, or are you a little surprised by yourselves?
No, I think it started at a very young age. We lived 2 blocks from my dad's original store, and when he needed help, he got on the phone and said, send somebody up here, I need help. So whoever was sitting around, watching television or getting into trouble, my mom sent us, get to the store was pretty much what we heard. So you had to have an activity after school or homework or you were on the schedule. And we were his labor. She was just saying she got hurt, and I went and I think I was in 7th grade, and my dad made me dress up and go apply for the position with his manager at the time. It was all prearranged, but I didn't know that, and but that's the skills that I carry through life. It's just been an amazing opportunity to learn. And people say, well, you guys have so much confidence, but we've been working since we were 10 or 8 or whatever.
Getting paychecks since 12.
Well, yeah, or I think we got 25 cents an hour. One time her and I decided to complain because we weren't making enough. And my dad said, I put a roof over your head and food on the table, that's what you're getting.
Right, yeah.
But we also had other jobs. I worked 2 jobs in high school, and we always worked other places.
You guys hustled.
Yeah,
and you continue to hustle.
Well, we had to pay for half of our college, and if we wanted a car, we had to pay for that. And if we wanted to go somewhere, we needed gas money. So she would say, "Everybody, collect your money," and and we got paid on Friday, and we're at the mall by 6 o'clock. But we were very deliberate in our purchases. We would stand there and say, well, this will cost how many hours do we have to work to get those jeans, and is it worth it?
Yeah. What's that? Let's talk a little bit about what that means for young people who are working for their family's company, and the type of responsibility that a person grows up with, and then ultimately, obviously, probably ventures into business. Would you say that that's really, those are skills that you really only come to understand if you've got to show up and work for your dad in a grocery store?
Yeah. And all of our children have grown up in the business also, just as we had. It's part of our family culture. And I can remember, I would be doing the night shift in the bakery, and I needed people who could count to 12 because you're selling a dozen buns. And we would have the sleeping bags lined up, her children, my children, and they'd be sleeping on the floor in the grocery aisles. We're baking bread, the bread comes out, or pies or whatever, and then we'd wake them up and they'd bag everything and lay back down. They all worked in the store, and it's kind of a legacy thing. They're very proud of the business, and they work incredibly hard, for,
and they work
for
together.
the family name.
Even
for
cousins,
the
which
name.
was nice.
And you all are at this point beginning to obviously bring up your Gen X and really pass the torch to that next generation. How does that feel? That's like letting go of a baby, so to speak, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, a grown-up baby, but three of them, in fact.
I
three
think
stores.
when we were in business, we had several goals, the three of us, that we aligned on. One was we wanted to pay a profit share to our employees every year. That was our big goal. And we wanted to send our kids to college. That was, very big for us. So they're very well educated. And we feel that, just like we took our dad's business from one level to the next, that they'll take it to another level. Whatever that is, they're going to have to decide how they want to grow the business or keep it going or innovate it, whatever way that is. It doesn't necessarily have to be bigger, because bigger isn't always better, and you can innovate internally and just continue. So that's kind of what we felt, and we were, and I just remember we really were connected in that we wanted each other to succeed. So, and then taking my dad's, he had his Elwoodisms that he always sort of taught us, that he got from his dad, and so they really were ingrained in us, I think.
I think it's a melding of the past and the future.
Yeah.
Where with us, we have to be accepting of their ideas and go with it and run with it and try it. They're very well educated, and they all have worked outside the business in larger companies, which gives them experience of how larger companies are run. I highly recommend that.
And they
out
obviously
and
have
working.
the choice to decide if
Yes.
they want to continue in some aspect with McGinnis Sisters, or if they want to go out and do whatever they've, what their dreams are.
Well, we have 10 children between us, and right now there's 3 here, and the other 7 have, done very well in what they've chosen to do, but they do have this skill set that they learned here, the teamwork and the customer service and the eye for quality. One of my nephews is a buyer, and his bosses keep saying, well, how do you know how to do that? And he was at food shows with her when he was 10. So he knows what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. So it's a real asset to that company.
And he worked on a truck. He worked on the produce truck with my brother Pat, who has to be the greatest instructor in the world of business, negotiating, how to have relationships with your vendors. And, when he went into his corporate career, they don't see that, that the handshake, and, you don't need paperwork. You do a deal on a handshake, and you are a good person, and you have a great reputation. And that's what family business is, and that younger generation, I'm just amazed at Noreen's daughter, the artwork that she has in this store. She does all of our marketing and artwork. Bonnie's daughter, Jennifer, I defer to her 10 times a day, because she's so much smarter than I am, and I'm old school. I can, my type of managing, if I think that there's an apple that might not be that great, I'll put an apple on the manager's desk, and that's my way of saying, maybe you ought to check your apples. On day 2 or 3, if there's 3 apples there, we need to talk, which rarely happens. But Jennifer, she encompasses the whole thing. Same with my son Max, the spreadsheets, the looking, the talking, the building a team. I don't even understand what all that is. So I'm letting them run with it. If they need help, they'll ask me, or I might, like my dad did to us, he'd kind of say a little, hey, you have gum on the floor,
But it's kind of nice, I assume, to see the passing of the torch and know that all of the years of hard work that's gone into building this brand, you're now able to, confidently pass on to your
Oh
next
yeah,
generation.
we don't have any concerns about it. And my dad was funny because he would work part-time for us, and then he slowly said, oh, you know, because he would look at us and thought we were 12 at first, because we were women, you know, and we were kind of out there swinging, and some of the things he didn't do, you know, he was still looking for the things they did in the 60s. And we were like, Dad, we don't do that anymore. I can't, you know, Giant Eagle had done it so cheaply, I can't do that. So finally he said, oh, okay. And he really was so gracious with us, where he didn't, you know, tower over us and berate us. He did his thing, and he said, you know, I'll come every day and help. And he worked in the produce, and the employees loved him, but customers loved him. But then he really exited gracefully. And so that's what we want to do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I want to talk more about women in a male-dominated industry and how you've managed that. Talk a little bit more about just the whole movement of the, you know, farm to table, which I know that you still very much support. And then where your lives go and how you balance your life and your lifestyle when we come back. Are you looking for a way to advertise your business, product, or service? Why not do it here on Hustle and Heart TV? We'd be happy to send you our media kit for show sponsorship and advertising. Reach out to us at info@dariethchisholm.com or give us a call at 412-692-1600, and we'll send you a media kit with all the information.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Marriott City Center, where all of your meeting, events, and travel needs can be met.
I'm Christina Stanley, and I handle the corporate market here at the Pittsburgh Marriott City Center. While corporate conferences can usually be very structured, our high energy and creative staff can make the experience memorable and unique for all your attendees. Also, if you're a new business or company in the area, please contact me for special corporate rates.
Check us out online on Facebook at Pittsburgh Marriott City Center, or call today at 412-471-4000 to make your next event brilliant.
The award-winning Savoy restaurant has become synonymous with fine dining, upscale ambiance, and a great destination for local and national celebrities to enjoy the night in style. The Savoy has won multiple Savor Pittsburgh awards for its delicious menu. Our wine list was awarded Wine Spectator's 2012 Award of Excellence, and the Savoy has also won the American Institute of Architects' People's Choice Award for its beautiful architecture and design. For dinner reservations and more info, log on to savoypgh.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin LaBar, and I am a professional wrestling analyst. That's right, I talk radio, TV, and in print, all things professional wrestling. And I'll see you in the next episode of Hustle and Heart TV with Darieth Chisholm.
McGinnis Sisters has certainly been around for 70 years, as we talk about, and really spearheaded by 3 strong women. But how do you manage that in what is a male-dominated grocery industry?
I was thinking about that because I didn't really notice any difference. My dad treated all his children the same, 5 daughters, 3 sons. Everybody was the same. Everyone had to go to college. Everybody worked in the store. There were no special favorites. So we were always used to working. All the women that I knew worked. All of my mother's sisters worked. My mother's family had a family business. Everybody I knew who worked. So it didn't occur to me that
ignorance is bliss sometimes, right? Yeah.
I think some of the funny things that we ran into is we would go to buying shows, and we would look over the product, and the gentleman or somebody on the other side of the table was waiting for our husbands to come to make the buy. So we had to educate them that, no, we're making the buy. And that probably was about it for us. Maybe when we went for loans and things like that, they kind of weren't sure what to do with us. But again, the persistence and the tenacity, and maybe, I don't know, maybe our personalities won them over, but they did invest in us. The bank had invested in us when we really...
And we had a solid foundation.
We had a great foundation.
Solid foundation, the small family business. And as we said, we all worked there. I know my first job was putting away pop bottles. I spoke to a customer just yesterday about that. And she said, oh, that's the first of recycling where you got a dime for your pop bottle.
That's how we made our money.
And I didn't like that job because it was every day after school and I could hear little things in that room. But that was my first job. And I think, I think way back, I'm talking 34 years ago, our driver quit that drove the produce truck. And then my husband took me out on dates learning how to drive the truck when I first started to date him. And this was a large produce truck, and he was really encouraging. He was like, hey, the driver quit. That's not that big of a deal to drive that truck.
And she showed up.
And you got to do it.
We did.
And she showed up in the strip
And
with
we
it,
did it.
which
We
is,
went to
you
the
know,
farms.
really.
Just what we did.
And she's little,
You had to
so
do it,
she had to be elevated.
and
Very encouraging.
You have to, when you're in business, there's tons of jobs you don't want to do. I mean, from cleaning toilets to doing all the manual labor to staying up and figuring out the books to, hauling equipment or whatever it takes to be successful.
And I think too, when we've had those challenging times that we were in there, and you're saying it was nothing for one of us to wipe the toilet out or clean whatever we had to do or do dishes, we just would have done that because that's what we were doing as children.
It's all of those little details that add up to the success that you have.
Yeah, and I think our team was like, whoa, people have said, I can't believe you're doing dishes. And I'm like, why wouldn't I do dishes? You need a hand. And I think that's what we were brought up to. Wherever you need a hand, we can see that. We kind of intuitively know, and we jump in.
And what message do you think that sends to your staff when they see you come in and you do those things? Because I would think up levels their spirit or their willingness to make the store the very best.
Well, truthfully, we grew up with neighbors. We worked alongside of them. Sometimes they would yell at us, just like my mom would yell at us because maybe we were being disruptive or doing something we weren't supposed to do. And so, and my dad had such an affinity for our people. They were neighbors and he cared a lot about them, and I think that really is where we are. I know most of the stories of the people that are here, and I know, I send little notes out if there's a death in someone's families with the phone numbers so that we can connect with them and things like that. I think they appreciate it.
I think too, being here in this grocery business, the floor is so important. And that's where you learn what your customers want. If you're working the floor, not all the time, here and there, and then you can suggest to the leads. People are asking for this, they're asking for that. Especially here in Pittsburgh, we have a lot of new people coming into our area, and they want different things, from throughout the United States, and you have to be on top of that.
Let's talk about how you support local farmers, though, and your real desire to. And it's interesting because I always laugh at the idea of this farm to table, because what did we do, 60, 70 years ago? We got our produce and needs from a farmer. But here with grocery stores, the idea of really bringing in and even buying, as you said, a dozen of eggs and having them sit on your shelves.
Well, with me, I want us to be really proud of everything, more so than profit. I want to be proud of that homegrown corn, the Chambersburg peaches, that you took them home, Darius, and you said, wow, the McGinnis sisters. I got this at the McGinnis sisters. It's our reputation. And you are developing a relationship with the farmers, which we always did that before it became the thing to do. And I remember that when we were growing up because our dad started it. And we went to Simmons Farms and Trax Farm and picked up the produce, which kept us going all summer long because the competition didn't do that. They sold out of season things or trucked in produce items, but that kept us going all summer. And that we didn't call it farm to table.
No,
we just
that's
called
what I said.
it
The term is that, but it's what people have done.
Yeah. And it was interesting going to the farm and seeing the people there working and what it took, the hard work it took to get those tomatoes in a box, to wash those apples. You saw the labor that goes into them. Mm-hmm. And then I know myself, I did not want to damage them in any way. I wanted to get them to the store so then they would be a great quality for you. But right now here at this store in Adams, McElhaney corn, wow. I mean, just to see John McElhaney come here, he's bringing his product. We keep it iced. We don't sell day-old corn. For me, that just makes me feel great. That makes me feel great.
How do you all balance your lifestyles and balance your families and balance running this business? And what are some of the things that you do to love your journey?
I'm being a grandma 3 days a week.
Grandma, being a grandma is the best thing in the world.
It's the best job I've ever had. I really missed out on a lot when my children were growing because we were working, and my mother raised my children. And so just the little goofy first steps and all that, I am the quintessential grandma. And so I do that about 3 days a week, but then that forces me into the nights. You know, I work a lot of evenings. I go in early. I work the weekends, which is good for the customers because they want to see us in the store. Yeah. But I really like the grandma job best. And, retire and like my dad did, like Noreen said, gracefully. Yeah, just retire gracefully. Be around if they need me, but they don't have to send me a paycheck.
Yeah.
I saw a little sign that was chalk written actually yesterday, and I took a picture of it, and then I sent it out to everyone, and it said, do more of what makes you happy. Do more of what makes you happy. And I think it's a balance of enjoying what you're doing. Enjoy life. It's short. I mean, here we are 40 years down the road, and it's gone so fast. But I do enjoy going into other stores, finding new ideas, bringing them back here to make us better. I love that. I enjoy that. I enjoy the customer. You know, how's your family? You know, where have the years gone? Boy, you look great. That sort of thing. And it's a balance, you know.
It certainly is.
You know,
Bonnie?
it's a balance.
For me, I'm a grandmother too, but my grandchildren, that's
I
okay.
apologize.
My grandchildren live out of state, so I'm always scheming to get there. And I do a lot of mentoring. I'm going to work with the YMCA in Pittsburgh to work with high school or pre-teens, because I believe that, if we can get to children earlier and, give them some skills, then our community is better. So I love that aspect. And then just, being here if the next generation needs us, a lot of the systems we put into place, we started working on transition many, many years ago, at least a decade, because we knew it was inevitable. It's not a light switch, it's a process. So
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I cannot tell you how much I've enjoyed this opportunity to sit in the grocery store with you, have coffee and muffins, and listen to your story of this family-run business and what it takes to be successful. And we started this with this idea of being persistent and consistent and really believing in your dreams and hustling for them, because that's what you've been doing. So I thank you so much for being on our show on Hustle and Heart TV. And if you want more about the McGinnis sisters and their legacy and where they plan to take their business, you can find out at our website at hustleandhearttv.com. Just simply search McGinnis Sisters and you'll find more details there. Thanks so much for watching.
When it comes to food, family, and tradition, Atria's is your dining destination. Atria's has a passion for food, and it all starts with our culinary trained chefs. From the made-from-scratch rubs and dressings to the best in the Berg crab cakes, Atria's prides itself in serving honest and real food. Come and see what makes us different at one of our 8 locations. We're now offering private dining, to-go, and full-service catering. Don't miss our 17th annual Oktoberfest starting September 8th, where you'll enjoy the most authentic German cuisine that Pittsburgh has to offer. Atria's, we're always changing courses. The success in selling your home and getting the right price lies in the crux of your agent's ability to maximize your home's exposure to the largest number of qualified buyers. Each year, Dion Malish helps a family buy or sell a home every 5.5 days, so she's confident that her proven home selling strategies will sell your home. Dion and her team are not your traditional real estate agents. Unlike many agents who pound a yard sign, post to the MLS, then sit back and wait for your home to sell itself, Dion uses a proven, repeatable system to sell your home for up to 18% more in less time. Dion recently published 25 tips for selling a home in Pittsburgh, which is also available on Amazon. If you're thinking of selling your home, you can get a free copy by visiting www.25tipspittsburgh.com. You can also contact her at 724-554-3514 or email her at dion@northwood.com.